Welcome to Coffee Break with Rachel V. Hill, taking a daily look at the biggest stories in Denver sports and interacting live with you, the Coffee Break fam. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of joe, and enjoy your coffee break. Here's your host, Rachel V. Hill.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's a good day because Bo Nix is earning amazing awards. So fun to see. My thing is apparently open back here, but it's totally fine. I got a new computer also today, and things are like, you know, when you get new technology and things just don't work the way you expect them to, like you're logging in and passwords aren't working and all sorts of stuff. That's how I'm feeling on this Thursday. So slightly overwhelmed, but excited to be talking about Bo Nix because this is like a big deal, you guys. Like, truthfully, the fact that we have not had a Broncos rookie earn an Offensive Player of the Year or a month award since 2002 with Clinton Portis is absolutely insane. It's very well deserved. I've been watching a lot of Bo Nix film. That was my one thing I wanted to do this football season. I wanted to dive into film way more, and I feel like I've been able to do that. And it's so much fun. Like, I've always rewatched games, but really diving into what makes each player different and how they've improved week in and week out has been like a main priority for me. And I've really, really enjoyed being able to dissect little things. So there's a lot that Bo Nix really improved on. Of course, going against a very bad Panthers defense, but there still is like a confidence to him that is starting to show. So I'm excited to dive into all of this. Good morning to everybody. I hope you guys, I guess it's afternoon now at this point. Let me know in the comments what you are doing for Halloween. I would love to know. Did you dress up this weekend? Did you go to any parties? Let's talk Halloween down at the very end of the show as well. But let's start talking about this Broncos QB. He is only the third Bronco in franchise history to win an Offensive Rookie of the Month award. The third Bronco in history. And everybody's talking about how he was going to be, you know, this kid that's coming in at number 12 overall, and he's not really that good. And Sean Payton has no idea what he's talking about. Now, I will say, looking at this, I do have some questions, and I would be so curious to talk to the NFL and see why, because there is another rookie who has really, really shined. And I'm surprised that he didn't get this award. And I don't want to be the Debbie Downer and sit here and be like, oh, well, like Bo shouldn't have done it. Bo's done a phenomenal job, so don't get me wrong. But there's been another guy, and I'm curious if you guys can actually guess who this guy is that I'm talking about, because I also think he probably could have won it. The major thing that I noticed when I was reading all about this Bo Nix Offensive Rookie of the Month award stuff was the touchdown to interception ratio. And so I was like, yeah, okay, so you guys are guessing it. Because it's a little surprising, right? Like, why didn't this guy, I'll put the comment up. Why didn't this guy win Offensive Rookie of the Month? Because we just saw him be absolutely electric on a Hail Mary pass that everybody was freaking out about. And so I do wonder why it's not Shane Daniels. But going back, is Bo Nix and everybody was talking about the passing touchdowns to interception ratio. And I feel like that's what everybody is like really keying in on. 7 passing touchdowns to, of course, we got the 1 interception. Daniels missed a game. But he still is putting up like crazy numbers. Like, his stats are still bigger than Bo Nix's at this point. So I don't know. I'm like a little curious. Shane Daniels is the real deal. He is the real deal, which is why I'm like so surprised. Not that Bo isn't the real deal. And again, okay, I feel like I'm getting sidetracked with you guys. Keep the comments coming, but I'm a little surprised. But I went and looked at Shane Daniels, and he only had 1 interception in the month of October as well. So I was like, very, very interesting. But one way or another, Bo Nix becomes the third Bronco in franchise history to earn the award. It was Mike Anderson in September and December of 2000. And then, like I said, Clinton Portis in 2002. The only Broncos to ever win that award. How do you guys feel about Clinton Portis? Because obviously there's all of the Champ Bailey stuff. I think the Broncos personally won on that deal. Obviously, I am a huge Champ Bailey fan, but I'm curious just how like other people like feel about that. Daniels will probably win Rookie of the Year, so maybe just giving Nick some love now. That would not surprise me at all. But also I feel like the NFL doesn't just like give some love. They care about like who's actually showed up and showed out. I feel like we saw that with the Comeback Player of the Year. Like, who should have really won that? Oh, yeah, the guy that literally had a heart attack on the field and came back and played a game in Damar Hamlin, and yet they didn't give that to him. So I feel like it's a harsh business. They don't just like hand love out just to be like, oh, here's a nice guy. But I do think Jaden Daniels, if things keep going the way it goes, I do think he wins Rookie Player of the Year for sure. But that's a good way to look at it also. But like I said, Nix did lead all rookie quarterbacks in passing touchdowns with 7. He only had that 1 interception, which is great. We've also seen him utilize his legs a ton, which a lot of people have been highlighting. And so his 2 rushing touchdowns also. He still scares me every single time that he decides to run, because he goes full send. There's no, stepping off the brakes. There's no sliding anything with Bo Nix. He is just full send. So it always freaks me out. I'm like, you cannot get hurt. Okay. That cannot happen. I was in elementary school when we had Clinton, and I love the way he ran the ball, but I'm the same with Rachel. Champ is my guy. He is the guy. Love Champ, but I did not want the trade at the time. But looking back now, you're all in on Champ Bailey, right? Obviously it worked out so much better for the Broncos, I feel like. Portland would have broken every single team rushing record. He was that guy, 5 touchdowns in 1 game, but overall it was a win with Champ. I love hearing everybody's different perspective. Not to age myself here, but I was obviously really, really young when that whole trade went down. So I don't have any memories about it or anything. I just remember watching Champ Bailey, and the one play that I do is when he picked off Tom Brady, and that was just electric. And it's one of those moments where it defines how I won and became a giant football fan, and also going to just games once I started. I was like, this is so much fun. We won that trade, no doubt. We love this guy, okay? We love him. I still don't know if he, Peyton Manning and all of them, they always show up all the time to Broncos games. And every once in a while, Champ Bailey will sprinkle himself into a game. I know he was just out there. Was it the Chargers game or Raiders game? I know one of them, he came out for the game. But otherwise, I feel like he's pretty secluded. We don't always see him, which makes me feel a little bit bad. Just reading your guys' comments. I love that you guys love Champ Bailey just as much as I do, because I really do. Great guy. So fun. It's so fun. 05 to 07, Champ was the best corner in the league. He was electric, that's for sure. I have so many. Do you guys remember when I guess they kind of do it now. Romy does it for CBS, but they do every player comes out each week. I remember going and stalking Champ Bailey when I was a kid at any of those events he went to, just to hopes to get a signed jersey. We've got so many different ones. I was that kid. So it's so fun now to be in this industry. And obviously none of us go up for autographs or anything like that, but it's just weird to see the different dynamics and how things have changed since then. And watching kids run up and get Patrick Surtain's autograph and how excited they are. It always makes me just go back to those days. So yeah, sad Champ wasn't around for Super Bowl 50. Okay. That is actually one of the hardest things. Super Bowl 48 crushed my soul when they had that picture of him going out onto the field and then walking off, and he didn't win a Super Bowl. That is still tragic to me to this day. So such a bummer. I love that we're talking about Champ Bailey though. Okay, let's get back to Bo Nix though, just because there's so much to talk about and so many ways that he has honestly just totally changed in week 1 to where he is now. I've been taking notes, like I said, every single week, and I had all of these things right all the way to week 1. I should honestly show you guys. I should pull it up, but I've got all of my week 1, week 2, week 3, all of those notes, and it's so fascinating to see. But I think the biggest thing is, and I've been talking about this a lot, people have been bringing it up with me, is the confidence and the trust that Bo Nix has with Sean Payton as his head coach. And there's just a different level of confidence that Bo Nix has shown. And especially last week, that's when it really came out, and it's been fun to watch. But I do think that having this big trust with Sean and Sean trusting him is making all of the difference too. I think that they have a really good relationship. And they're able to communicate in ways. One example is we're seeing a lot more shotgun out of Bo Nix. And I feel like we didn't see that a ton to begin with at the start of the season. And so there's this relationship that's continuing to build. And it's really exciting to be able to watch him, go into shotgun and just have a different approach to the game, and that Sean Payton is trusting him to do that. That was one of the major emphases that I did realize, is I'm like, oh yeah, we are seeing Bo Nix in shotgun formation just a little bit more than we have been used to the past couple of weeks, and especially at the beginning. The other big takeaway for me was that in the game against the Panthers, we saw a lot of times where Bo Nix went for the long ball, and that was so much fun to watch. It makes it so much more entertaining. But well, I say this is, and it's not like the guys that were doing the 5-yard routes were covered. They were still open, and both still chose to go for the longer route. And I wonder if that was part of the game plan of like, hey, you're going to be able to make a few mistakes here against this Panthers team, and we should still be able to go out there and win. So go for the long ball. But it was nice to see him be able to connect with those guys going so far down. So definitely like that for sure. The Broncos, go into some more questions, and then we'll get back to some more on Bo Nix as well. The Broncos should trade Browning if they can't sign him again. Cooper must not be traded. Blake Watson needs a chance to play. Wow. Okay. There's a ton to dive into here. And if you have been tuning into my shows all this week, then I would agree with absolutely everything on this list. I would say goodbye to Baron Browning. You have been great. Thank you so much for causing some havoc for a few weeks here with the Denver Broncos, but I wish you best of luck with your next team. Go get a draft pick for him. Who cares? Jonathan Cooper, if you get rid of him, then you do not believe that this team is a playoff team. Otherwise, you do not go off and trade him. I don't care if you are getting something ridiculous for him. Buy into him. He has been one of those guys that day in and day out, game in and game out, he is there making big plays. So do not trade Jonathan Cooper. For the first 4 weeks of the season, I was writing every single week on my 10 observations from each game. I was like, Jonathan Cooper was there. Jonathan Cooper was there. Jonathan Cooper made an impact. Boom, 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 boom. They cannot go in and trade Jonathan Cooper. Otherwise, this management does not believe that they are a playoff team, and then I don't care what else. Blake Watson needs a chance to play. I'm totally with you. We talked about this yesterday. Javonte Williams just does not look like the same guy. I feel so guilty saying that, Broncos country. It like crushes my soul a little bit. Oh, it really does. It crushes my soul because I want Javonte to succeed so badly, but he just does not look like the same. And so Jaleel McLaughlin can't be your running back number one. So that's where I say bring in Blake Watson, see what you can do. You know what? A name I haven't thought about in a while, and this is also on me because I was obviously gone for a while, but what's Audric Estime? He hasn't come back, right? I'm just going to look it up real quick. I think if he was back, obviously they would be playing him, but I'm just curious if they have any update. Oh, no, he was back. He was back in the game against the Saints. So, yeah, interesting. But he did have a fumble in that game. So that's a huge, huge bummer as well. Being gone for those, I was able to stay up for like the first half. In case you did not know, I got married. I went to Switzerland for a few weeks, but it definitely was a bummer not being able to watch all of the games. I stayed up for like the first half, and then it was midnight out there. And so it's definitely time to go to bed. But yeah, everyone's saying Estime fumbles, 100%. Tyler Beatty, update, question. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that one. He's got fumbleitis. Okay, but so do a lot of guys on this team. Let's be real. They do not hold on to the ball very, very well. Actually, let's just look. I'm curious. How many fumbles does Cortland Sutton have on the season? Does he just have the one? Yeah, it looks like he just has the one. Maybe just because I'm thinking of so many dropped passes that we had early on, but obviously that connection between him and Bo Nix has gone so much better. Estime's back. Peyton sat him out from bullying. Yeah. No, that's tough. But Javonte, he just doesn't look it. So I'm totally down for a Blake Watson type vibe as well. Broncos trade for Jacksonville's running back. Lil Jordan, I think, has two maybe. I do think you're correct on Lil Jordan Humphrey. They have had their issues holding onto the ball. We can make that very clear. They have definitely done that. But you know who else has had issues with that? And this is why it kind of gives me a little bit of hope about this upcoming week. I go back and forth. It depends on my mood. But the Ravens are really struggling defensively. And I know everybody's talking about the pass defense specifically because they rank 32nd. But honestly, you guys, I think they're a little bit better than we're giving them credit for. They've had so many dropped interceptions. So they're making plays, but they're just not holding on to the ball. And so I really go back and forth. But also, I found out this crazy stat is quarterbacks that are going up against the Baltimore Ravens are averaging 4 seconds nearly of time. That is so much time in the NFL to have to like analyze what you're seeing on the field. If Bo Nix can have almost 4 seconds, I think that the Broncos have a really, really good chance of actually staying in this game and competing. Because I think that they can, get open and make some moves. And I think Bo can assess, who's going to be the best guy to get the ball to. 4 seconds is a really, really long time. It's like usually like 2.5, maybe 3 seconds. I feel like sometimes you get to that 3.5 seconds, but 4 seconds is really crazy. So their defensive line also is not kicking it. So they got some serious problems for sure. Okay, back to the questions. Is Blake Watson big enough to be running back number 1? Oh, it's a good question for sure. Okay, hold on. We just got some breaking news, folks. I was hoping that this would happen during the show. This is the perfect time for us to get breaking news all the time. The Ravens are now calling back and knee issues, keeping Lamar Jackson out of practice for a second straight day. Interesting. So it was just a rest day for Lamar Jackson, according to John Harbaugh yesterday, but no. He's out for a second straight day dealing with back and knee issues. This is actually like big. If the Broncos would somehow get Johnson as the backup QB for the Ravens, they have a really, really good shot at winning the game on Sunday. So very interesting to see that Lamar is out for a second straight day. Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to tweet that out real quick. Second straight day. So my brain goes 2 ways, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Broncos at all. So please do not take it that way. But either they are looking at the Broncos as an easy win, and then it's better for Lamar just to stay healthy, because they should not have dropped the game against the Browns last week. So honestly, if they hadn't dropped the game against the Browns last week and they had won, I would have thought, they're looking at their schedule thinking maybe, just maybe, we can pull this off. We need Lamar to be healthier down the stretch. But you lost the game against the Browns. You let a Jameson Winston Brown team come in and beat you, which is shocking. But fascinating. John called the Broncos a quick game. I did not see that at all. So John Harbaugh comes out and calls the Broncos a quick game. Fascinating. Lamar does not need to practice. I mean, the offense obviously is the better side of this Ravens team for sure. So I still think he needs to practice a little bit. I just wonder how much it's actually affecting him. Pay attention to the Vegas spread. They always know the player's status. Interesting. I honestly kind of just thought that there was some communication and that he was probably a little bit sore from the game on Sunday, Lamar. And so John was calling it a rest day, but they had to have something for the injury report. But now that he's missed a second straight day, it's just, I don't know. That is very interesting. We'll see what they end up doing. I'm waiting to see if anybody else says anything. But interesting. Let's see. If he practices on Friday, we will have our answers. I would assume he's going to practice on Friday, be back at it, unless his back is getting worse or his knee is getting worse. It's interesting, too, that it's both the back and the knees. Things aren't going well for Lamar Jackson. Also, you are looking at this, if you are the Broncos defense and you say, go at Lamar Jackson with everything you got. Court, you never want to see injuries. I'm not saying that, but if he can be a little more sore and a little bit more tender and he's all of a sudden having a harder time, and then you just have to worry about Derrick Henry, that opens up so much too. Interesting. You guys, could things be going the Broncos' way? I feel like we never see that. Fascinating. All right, though. That's going to do it for me, though, you guys. Unless you guys want a few other things that I've noticed on Bo Nix, let me know in the comments real quick. I always try and keep these around 20 minutes because I know a lot of people are doing it or watching this show at work. So I want to just have something quick and easy that you guys can tune into. But I guess we can talk real quick, just a few other things that I've noticed about Bo Nix and how he's improved from week 1 to week 8. He's no longer a rookie. According to Sean Payton, you played 8 NFL games. We're here. Another one of those things was basically saying that Rachel, breaking news. I know. Gotta appreciate the work group chat for sure. They're always sending everything we need to know. But Bo has really started to use his eyes, and he feels like he's tricking defenders here left and right, which has been really, really big too. It's that connection though that he's having with the wide receivers and the tight ends. It's really starting to pay off, but he's really going with his eyes. So we remember when Bo Nix would be staring and then he would just like lock in somewhere and we were like, Bo, everyone knows where you're throwing. We're no longer having those issues at all. So I'm really happy that that's been one of the emphasis he's gotten better at. His pocket presence has gotten so good. Do we all remember? I still am like so proud of this. It was one of the first few weeks and I was like, Bo Nix is going like taking too many steps backwards. I was like, why are we doing this? He's taking like 8 to 9 steps, like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, those guys, they take 4 or 5 max. That's where he is at now. His pocket presence looks so much better. That's the one thing about Bo Nix I've been really impressed with. He fixes all of the errors he has, and he fixes them like that. So whatever they're doing over there, down there at Broncos Park by Common Spirit, it is working for sure. Bo is getting comfortable. He's playing with swag. Gosh, he is. Like, it's been so much fun. And he's got this confidence. And his comments yesterday about how, everyone was talking about him running and all of these like accolades and stuff like that. And he's like, I just like winning. And I'm like, hell yeah, you do. We like winning too. And he cares so much more about that than he does anything else. And he cares, you guys. He cares. I love the little swag that he's got for sure. Let's see. Broncos need to be aggressive and hopefully win the toss and make the Ravens chase us. I actually would love for them to do this. Get out in front. Please, let's do that. I agree. If they do win the toss, I think you take the ball and you go for it there. So I like that for sure. Let's see. Bo has definitely worked on his footwork 100%, which is amazing. Rachel is an insider, hardly an insider. I just have amazing coworkers who are very good at any time I'm live. They will send us anything to be like, okay, here's information. And I feel like we've just been getting really lucky and getting a ton of information during these shows. No, James Palmer is an insider. He's the one actually talking to a lot of those guys. Maybe one day we'll get there, but today is definitely not that day. I like being a host. I like having conversations with all of you guys. I like starting conversations, and I like diving into all of this kind of stuff. So I appreciate you guys every single day for hanging out with me, spending a little bit of time, letting me talk football, letting me talk your ear off. If you are at work, please drop a high five in the chat just because I'm curious what you guys are doing. Or if you're sitting at home, drop a little home emoji in the chat as well, just hanging out. But that is going to do it. We're going to end on this comment. Feels like Bo Nix is doing what Drew Lock was supposed to be. And I could not agree more. This is all what we were hoping for Drew Lock to be, but it's not. And we are very, very happy indeed to have the quarterback that we do. But last one, actually, I say, we got people at work and at home, but I forgot somehow, everyone, we've made it. Hold on 1 second. Like I said, new computer, but I forgot that actually, you guys, I can't do it. I have to have my admin change my settings on my computer, but somehow we are in the lead for Pick'em. Don't ask me how that happened, considering that I was gone for 3 weeks. So that makes me laugh, but make sure you do your King Supers Pick'em. I will also do them today. Like I said, new computer, so I need to get the admin who can allow us to share our screens, which is a huge, massive bummer. But I'm going to do Pick'em, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode. We're doing 3 keys to the Broncos beating the Ravens, what I think needs to happen. Utilize the 4 seconds phone next. I will make sure that's not one of them, but that can be an extra one for us for sure. And then I hope you guys all have a wonderful, safe Halloween. Have so much fun if you are going trick-or-treating with your family, your kids. I am taking my niece trick-or-treating tonight. It is her birthday, so I'm so excited to get up there and celebrate her as well. And we will see you guys all later. Have a wonderful last day of October. Bye, guys.